me. I wanna dance with somebody. I wanna feel the heat with somebody. So what's up to all my beautiful queens, divas of a more mature age? Welcome back to my channel. I am the Eva Monroe, and today we're gonna do a little beat face and chat. I don't think I've ever done one of these, so I was like, why not? Let's get it in. So I'm going to go out today, and I just kind of want like a simple but cute makeup look. I haven't played in a lot of makeup in a long time, so I thought this would be fun. So of course I have cleansed thy skin, and y'all see I still have my friend that I told y'all about that reared its ugly head, but we're gonna cover that up today. And let's go. So I'm gonna start off with I have glitter on me. I'm gonna start off with my Genifique, which I need to re-up on. I'm gonna wait till tomorrow though, because Ulta has Purity 50% off, and of course I will be needing to get some of that because I'm almost out. So a question that I get asked about a lot is starting a YouTube channel, and I'm always shocked when people ask me that, because I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what works, and I really am not. Now I'm gonna go in with my Poreless Putty Primer and apply that. I have just really started taking a liking to this, and ladies and gentlemen, this is probably too much. But I started my YouTube channel 2 years ago. Well, almost 2 years ago. Really hasn't been 2 years that I've been consistent with it, but I just started it for fun, and I never even thought that I would make a dime on YouTube. So YouTube is a business, and I did not spend a lot of time learning the aspects of the business side of YouTube. And so I really kind of shot myself in the foot quite a bit, because like brands would reach out to me, and companies would reach out to me about advertising and things like that. And I didn't have a clear understanding of how to, I'm gonna go in with some powder. We're gonna try this today, of how to charge them, how to charge businesses. I didn't want to come up with some stupid astronomical fee and then have everybody saying no or turning me down. And so my fear of that kept me from making the money that I should have been making. It kept me from asking wig companies for the coins that I should have been asking wig companies for. Wig companies were legit taking advantage of me. Like, I started out doing wig reviews for free, basically, just for the price of a free wig. I started out doing wig reviews. I'm gonna use my Born This Way concealer to hide my little spots here. Yeah, I mean, companies would be like, we send you free wig. I would be like, okay, because I love wigs, and I'm like, shoot, I'm getting a free wig out of the deal. And I was not getting the money that I should have been getting from these companies. So I say all that to say that, like, do your homework. Ask other YouTubers, even though sometimes they're not so forthcoming about like actual dollar amounts and things like that. But if you can get that information from them, by all means do, because, you know, it takes money to do this. Honestly, it does. But my thing in the beginning when I started doing it and I started doing fragrances, it wasn't like an added expense or anything because I buy fragrances, you know. So that was cool. But when I started feeling like I wanted to step my camera equipment up, you know, and different things like that, then it started to cost me money, and it was costing me money, and I wasn't actually making any money. So learn the business side of it before you really dig into it. And have fun always, because that's what it's about. And when it stops being fun, when it starts being too much like work, I'm on the struggle bus here. And I don't want to be off camera or anything here. Yeah, take the time to learn that side of it and get your coins, and don't let people make you feel bad for getting your coins, because that was another thing. Like, I would always see people in FragCom talking bad about reviewers. They would always be like, oh, reviewers be getting free bottles and reviewers be getting paid. And I didn't want that. I didn't want people to label me like that, and I didn't want people to think that I only was doing this for the money. But at the end of the day, that's a reason for it. You know, money is a motivating factor, and I don't care what other people say. You know, if you do something and you're good at it, you should be paid for it, right? At the end of the day, you should get your coins, and don't ever be afraid or give a damn about what people say when you're doing the right thing, of course, to get your coins, you know, because people are going to have an opinion about everything, child. That's just how life goes. People are going to have an opinion about it. Now I'm going to add a dab of concealer under the eyes, at the chin, and right in here. So yeah, that's that. Do your research, do your homework, figure out, you know, how you should be getting your coins, and do not let these companies take advantage of you. I need to buy some new beauty blenders. All right, now I'm just going to do you guys see my brows? How I still have not done much to them. I did clean up down here the other day a little bit. I'm trying not to touch the top of them. So I've just been going in with my pencil and just kind of filling in. Like, I want to see my natural arch. And it's funny to me because it actually comes all the way up here. So that's where my brows are growing, and I did not know that. But I'm gonna leave the top part of my brows alone. Someone told me a long time ago never to touch the top part of your brows. Like, don't cut the top of your brows. And when I started going to people and letting them arch my brows, well, they were arching the top of my brows. They were threading them and tweezing and doing whatever else it was that I was going to get done. So right now I'm going to leave those alone. And I've just been filling in, cleaning up, and leaving alone, because I have decided that I'm kind of digging the natural look. hair and brow. Take my concealer, and I use this as my eyeshadow base, actually, which I like doing that. I don't know how the masses feel about it. I'm actually going to use my same brush that I use to dig my foundation residue out of the container. And I got a little too much on there, but we can lift some of that off because you don't want too much. Yes. Oh, I talked a little bit in my live about you know, how when my husband and I met, my husband was the high earner, and then I leveled up and that changed. It's really been an exciting year for me, and I tell you what the biggest thing was for me, and a lot of people can take something away from this. It was just coming out of my shell and doing some things that I had been previously making excuses about. I do a lot of things, and people will ask me, you know, to do those things for them, like decorating and party decorating and gardening and things like that. And I was always like, oh, I just do it for myself. And then I had to take a moment and sit back and say, girl, again, here you go. You just turning down coins. Like, who does that? So I think another part of it came from me not thinking that people would want to actually pay me for stuff, even despite the fact that they thought I was good at it. They enjoyed it enough to want me to do it for them. I felt some type of way about that. And I was like, you know, again, stop blocking your blessings, because that's what I was doing. I was like, stop making excuses about your life, like Dr. Phil used to say back in the day, you know, and the worst thing that can happen is you can quote somebody a price and they can say no, you know, and then you just move on. You keep it pushing. So that really kind of played out in my favor. So if there are things that, you know, you are really good at doing and you would like to do those things and make money at them, but you're just making excuses because you don't think that you do it good enough, or you think that it's just good enough for your house or good enough for your face or your yard or whatever it is, sometimes you just gotta step out there, you know. And if you never try, then how will you ever know if it's actually going to work or not? So I stopped holding myself back, and it was the greatest thing I ever could have done. Now I'm going to be using, I don't like my camera angle here, y'all. I really don't. So I'm going to be using this Jaclyn Hill palette, which has gone through HE double hockey sticks. It's really like the only palette I use, and pretty much only the transition color. As you can see, it's the only one I've actually hit pan on there. So yeah, stop. Most of the time, I've realized this with my own life, like we are holding ourselves back. You know, we're blocking our own blessings many a time, because sometimes we're even afraid of what other people are going to say. I'll go back to being on YouTube. When I started being on YouTube and it kind of started to be a big thing for me, I was afraid of telling people that I was on YouTube, and I never actually told anybody that I knew. I still, to this day, I don't think I walk around telling people, hey, check me out on YouTube. I was kind of afraid of what people would say, like, what are you doing sitting up there, you know, talking and yakking and telling all your business. I just was afraid of what people would think. And I don't live my life that way. Like, I don't give a damn what people think about me, honestly. So I don't know why that was really even a thing for me, honestly. And I don't even know how people started to find out. I really can't tell you. But a lot of people that I know actually watch me on a consistent basis. It's kind of funny to me. But yeah, I don't give a damn what people say or what people think. And you know, I don't give a damn about trying something and failing, because if I try something and I fail, I'm just going to get right back up and try it again or try something else. So I see we got a struggle eye. Okay, it's this one. Looking in the monitor at it. So I have a favorite eyeshadow look that I've been rocking with lately. You guys have probably seen me with this look, and it's actually this green down here. I'm gonna use that today. I use that with a little bit of liquid. Now I take my primer again, or not my primer, my setting spray, and I'm just gonna wet my brush with it, and then I'm gonna dab it into this green that's so pretty. Watch me work. Watch me work, y'all. Look at this green. Oh, look at it. Y'all see that? I like. Oh. So back to talking about being afraid of what people think, and friends that when you start to change, how they will. It's funny how sometimes people will think that you think something more of yourself than you actually do, and they will weed themselves out. Like, it is so funny to me how people will like stop calling or stop inviting, and then when you say something about it, they're like, well, I thought you was all big and busy, and it's like, okay, so you low-key being a hater. You know, nothing about me has changed. Well, I won't say that, because if nothing about me had changed, that would be a problem. There are things about me that have changed. There are things about me that had to change. But for the most part, I'm still the same person, you know? And so that is the funniest part to me, how people be like, well, I thought, I thought you was making a YouTube video, or I thought you was working on a job or and I'm like, wow, that is such a nasty way to be. Like, if I saw one of my friends, you know, who had started doing something different and things in their life had started to change, I'm still gonna call, you know, I'm be like, girl, take me on the trip, you know. I'm still gonna try to hang out with you, and if you don't, you know, receive my invite or whatever, then that's different. I'm not gonna keep asking you, but I'm not gonna start treating you any different, because sometimes, let's be clear about the fact that it's a matter of them feeling some type of way about their current situation, you know, and looking at your current situation and being like, dang, you know, I need to, hilarious. Even with, like, when I got married to my husband, of course, some aspects of my life changed, right? And I remember having a discussion with somebody at one point in time, and it really kind of hurt my feelings a little bit, but it was just the fact that this person was basically trying to make me feel some type of way about my situation changing, and them obviously thinking that I felt like more than what I really did about, you know, the choices I now have in life. It's funny how sometimes people will really try to make you feel bad about your come up, and you know, they're bad. Honestly, they're bad. So that was totally hilarious to me. Okay, so I'm going to do a lash today. Let me show you how much I put on my hand. That much, literally on my hand. Like so. Now I'm gonna do a little bit of blush, and I'm using Pure Pink by Black Radiance. This is like one of my favorite, just look a little bit blushed and flush colors. Just adds a little pop of pink. It's a cream. So I got an email from someone one day asking me about making new friends as a grown woman. And I thought that was such a good question, because I think that a lot of women just don't have a lot of female friends. And I've talked about before how I used to have a really hard time with being friends with other women. And it was just because I didn't know how to interact with other women, because I never really had good interaction with my mother. So I always struggled in female relationships, and I didn't trust women much. And I hear a lot of women say this all the time, like, you can't trust other women and they'll steal your man. And if your man is stealable, it has nothing to do with the other woman. It has something to do with your choice in men, right? I think that honestly, when my life started to change, when I started to have a better awareness of self, it started happening for me when I started to develop relationships with other women. And it was kind of strange in the beginning, because other women would try to friend me, and it would freak me out, like completely. I would be like, girl, what you want? Oh, she calling me talking about, do I want to go to lunch? Girl, what you want? You know, or she talking about she want to come over and drink wine. Why you want to come over here and drink wine? You know, it was hard for me. And when I think about it today, I laugh, but that was the reason why, because I didn't know how to connect with other women. And when I was growing up, I used to be really shy, right? And I would be really shy, and I was really intimidated in the presence of other women, especially pretty women. Like, I would just be, you know, really intimidated in the presence of them. And if they were trying to be my friend, I would always think that it was really strange, you know, and I would always pull myself away from the situation. And one day I figured out that what I was deeming to be shy really wasn't shy at all. It was low self-esteem. Like, I had terribly low self-esteem. And that was where a lot of my problems came from. And it was just due to the fact that, you know, I never felt so good about myself as a young girl. You know, there are some crucial years in our lives where we are taught how to connect to people and how to disconnect from people and how to interact with people. And those years just really shaped and molded my relationships with other women as well as with other men. But you know, we're talking about other women right now. My girlfriends are a huge part of my life. They're like one of the greatest parts of my life. What happened to my Q-tip? Oh, here we go. I learned so much from them. I learned from them, and I learned how to leave my husband alone, you know, and I'm able to let my husband be a man and have his man life and me be a woman and have my woman life. I'm gonna smoke and smudge out the bottom of my lash line. I'm just going in with my color that I used on the top. So I'm gonna do that to the outer corner. Yeah, it honestly, you know, it's very necessary. And so I tell women all the time, like, to meet other women, involve yourself in things that you wouldn't normally involve yourself in. Go do something that other women enjoy doing, that you've thought about for a long time. You know, oh wow, I would love to, you know, belong to such and such a club, or I would love to volunteer for such and such a company, or, you know, meet and surround yourself with other women who are doing things that you want to be doing in your life, positive things, that is. So I used to be intimidated by women who were doing better than I was, and then one day I got smart and I was like, you know what, these are the women that are going to show me how to level up and bevel up, right? Like, what are they doing? Like, I want to know what they're doing. You know, they're living well, they're doing well. Either they're happily married or they're happily single. They're living their best lives. You know, they drive well, they dress well, they have good jobs. These are the women that I need to be learning from. You know, I'm hanging out with the Keishas and the Kikis and stuff. And y'all, don't take offense, by the way, I always use Keisha. It's just always the first name that pops into my mind. But they're doing the same thing I'm doing. They're at the same place in my life that I'm at. So I can't grow with them because they're not trying to grow up or glow up or anything else. So I had to start hanging out with different women. And it was it awkward for me in the beginning? It was more than awkward. I'm gonna put a little highlight just right up underneath my brow. Absolutely, it was awkward. But the one thing I've always been able to do is blend into situations, you know, fit in, you know, learn how to fit in with all different types of crowds. It's so good to have chameleon qualities, right? Some people always stay where they feel like they belong, right? Like, I'm gonna always stay with people that are doing the things that I'm doing. I'm only gonna hang out with people who do what I do, who live like I live. We have the same amount of money. We drive the same kind of cars. You know, we all broke and struggling. You can't come up like that. You absolutely cannot come up like that. I talk about in Snatched, if you think about it, diversity is the D in Snatched, right? Diversity. Like, come outside of yourself and your comfort zone and go be with women who are doing things totally different than you are doing things, if you desire to be doing things different. And learn how to fit in. Learn how to fit in. I remember this is funny. I always kind of tried to be bougie, you know, when I was younger, but it was like, it wasn't authentic. And I had never been anywhere. I had never really done anything, you know, that would put me on that level. I'm gonna work on my struggle brow, yo. So I had an experience one time, and a gentleman, this is why I say etiquette is so important, okay? So this gentleman took me to my very first ball, formal ball, right? And we stayed at the Sheraton Hotel. And I got to choose a lovely gown. I was beautiful that night. I felt like Cinderella. And, you know, I was trying to be fancy, but I realized, like, I didn't know what fork to eat with when they were bringing out certain dishes. I didn't know, you know, you have glasses on the right, glasses on the left. I didn't know whether to reach for the goblet to the left of me or the goblet to the right of me. I didn't know anything. And so I got up the next morning, and I'm gonna use this KKW 3.5 nude, and I don't know what I'm actually using of it because there's like nothing in it, but I'm gonna dig for it because I love this, and they don't sell it anymore. So I get up the next morning, and we're at the Sheraton, and the gentleman, he's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm gonna go down and get coffee and get breakfast." And he's like, "Oh, okay," you know. And I was also broke back in these days. I don't know if I mentioned that. Can't leave that out. It's very important. And so I go downstairs. I find this. This is gone too. I gotta dig for this. I go to the dining room at the Sheraton, and this gentleman greets me. That's almost too much gloss, right? And he says, "Yes, ma'am, how may I help you?" And I said, "Yes, I would like to have breakfast." You know, I'm trying to be fancy. So he's like, "Absolutely, you may sit here." You know, he's got a white towel thrown over his arm and whole 9 yards. So I sit down at the table, and he brings me a menu, okay? I wonder if we should powder. I don't know, I'm scared. I don't want to. I tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use my setting spray and my beauty blender to try to just bring it all together. That's how we're gonna do this. So he brings me the menu. He says, "Will you be having coffee or water?" And I said, "I'll have both, Jeffrey." So he brings me the coffee and the water, y'all. And I start looking at the menu, and I'm like, waffles, $30. 2 slices of bacon, $20. So I call it, I said, "Oh, excuse me, sir," because y'all know I'm bougie, right? I'm fake bougie. And he comes over to the table, and I said, "Oh, sir, I'm looking for the continental breakfast." And he kind of like threw his head back, like, "What? Oh, ma'am, I'm sorry. We don't have continental breakfast. However, over at the bar, there's a lovely bowl of fruit." And I looked over at the bar, and sure as the world, there was a lovely bowl of apples and oranges. I was so embarrassed. I went back up to the room, and the gentleman said, "Did you have breakfast?" And I said, "No, they don't actually have continental breakfast here." And he was like, "Oh, yeah, no. Like, where did you think you was? Motel 6, girl?" All right, let's put a wig on it, shall we? Okay, so this unit I'm going to be working with today is a short curly number And this is from Lush Wigs. Now, the unit actually came dark, and I went in and lightened the unit up. So I like this unit a lot. Hang on. Don't talk. I shouldn't have started my camera, but it kind of is what it is, right? Where's my hook? Oh, okay. Now let's hook these babies up. Okay, so let's pop her on. I think she's cute. Actually, let's put some foundation inside of her lace. I did bleach the knots, and I think that I went a little bit cray-cray with the knots. I don't know that this foundation is dark enough, honestly. It's kind of light. This is a Fenty foundation that I don't actually use. Okay, let's pop this girl on. I want that to lay. Don't cut your circulation off. But sometimes it about requires that. I really feel like Whitney. I wanna dance with somebody. I wanna feel that heat with somebody. Yeah. With somebody who loves me. Okay, so I think the hair is super cute spring summer hair, right? So my recording device is giving me the blues. It's telling me that I have zero space. But thank you guys so much for watching me today. And I hope I talked about something that you enjoyed listening about. Until I see you again, be blessed and bye for now.